Hi, I'm Alex Uding, and today we're going to go over reading food labels. So sometimes when we're at the store and we're trying to make decisions about the products we're buying, we look at the product, we turn it over, we see what information's on there, and then that can help us guide in what we want to purchase. So I have here a jar of peanut butter, and we're just going to go over what I look at when I'm purchasing something to make sure I'm making a good decision for me and my health. So on the front side is usually the product, the label, the brand that they are selling. So that gives you the information on that. They oftentimes put weight in the corner. So this is 16 ounces or 1 pound of peanut butter. So that's how I know how much I'm getting. Then at the very top, there's a used by date. Now different products have different labels. So used by means the quality and the freshness of that product might go down after that date. It does not mean that it's not safe to eat. It just then means you might have to eat it more quickly before the freshness or the taste kind of starts to go down. And just keeping in mind that safety just more broadly might accelerate and that you want to eat it sooner rather than later. Sell by date, it lets the person or the store that's selling the product know when to sell it by so you still have time to eat it on your shelf life. So usually there's about a third of the life of the product left after you've bought on the sell by date. And then the expiration date is the recommendation that they really don't want you eating the product after this date, just in case it can make you sick or safety goes down. Then if you go to the back side of a product, that's usually where most of the nutritional information is. So I blew up this jar so you can better see it at home. So on the back side, we're looking here, there's a lot of information, a lot of numbers, and a lot of words. So the first thing I'm going to direct your attention to is the nutrition facts. And on the nutrition facts, right below it says the serving size. Now the serving size is the amount that they base the rest of the nutritional information off of. So it's the quantity that they're using as a basis of their recommendations. So on this jar of peanut butter, if we look, the serving size is 2 tablespoons. Now to me, 2 tablespoons is really relative. How much is that actually? So I grabbed a tablespoon here to give you an idea. So this is 1 tablespoon. So the serving size of peanut butter is 2 of these. All right. So as you're thinking about what you might use the product for, having an idea of the serving size gives you an idea then of the calories and everything else that might be part of your decision making. So they have the recommended serving size, and right below that they have the total number of serving sizes in the item. So that total number just tells me how much I'm going to get if I stick to the 2 tablespoons. So this serving size is 14. So I'm going to get 14 servings of 2 tablespoons in this product. Now then if I go to the side here and I look more at the information, you can see at the top I've got total fat, I've got sodium, potassium, total carbs, protein, cholesterol, and then vitamins at the very bottom. Now at the top you're going to see a percent DV. Percent DV means the amount in a percentage of the daily value that we eat. Now the daily value more times than not, and they always put it on the label, is usually 2,000 calories. So regardless of who you are, how old you are, your activity levels, they're putting these numbers relative to 2,000 calories. So some people might need more than 2,000 calories. If you're a very active person and you're expending a lot of energy, you may need more calories. Some people who are younger might not be eating 2,000 calories. So just remember it's relative to 2,000 and not necessarily you and your needs. You might need to adjust accordingly. So as we go in here, I want you to look at total fat. So the total fat says 25% of the recommended daily value. So if I have 2 tablespoons of this peanut butter, I'm going to have 25% of 2,000 calories. I hope that makes sense. So it's just relative to 2,000, that's the percent that this, in this serving size, is going to have. So it has that for fat, it has it for carbs, and it has it for sodium. All right, so just looking at that. Now the sugars and the proteins are in grams. So sometimes knowing what the daily recommendations for protein and your sugar becomes useful. And we'll have a conversation about what norms are for those things and kind of activity levels and lifestyle. But in the beginning here, we're just going to go over the label. And then if you look at the bottom, it's got vitamins, recommendations, and percentage as well. So right beneath the serving size is calories. Now these calories, again, are relative to 2 tablespoons, their serving size. So if we look at this, it's 190 calories for 2 tablespoons, and of that, there's 150 fat calories. It's a nut, so there's a little bit higher fat percentage. So that's the label itself, giving you a breakdown of what's in it, the quantities, and how much that is relative to a 2,000 calorie diet. Now beneath that, we've got the ingredients. Now when looking at ingredients, I want to know how many ingredients are there. Is there a huge long list? Is it very limited? So here you see there's dry roasted peanuts, and that's the only thing in this jar of peanut butter. Now the more words there are means the more ingredients there are. Sometimes an easy thing to kind of base your decisions off of is if you can't say the words or there's stuff you've never heard of, there might be more additives in it. Or you just see this huge laundry list, there's a lot of ingredients. So if you're looking to eat more simple, less is more, and kind of make sure you're familiar with the ingredients that are on there. If they're describing things or these big words you don't understand, it might not be a simple food. And then beneath that, I know this is a product of the United States, and it was distributed and sold by Trader Joe's in California. So again, that gives you an idea of where it's coming from. It does not give the whole story. I do not know based off of that how these peanuts were raised, where the seeds came from, or anything like that. It provides limited information, but that at least gives me a starting point to know where it's coming from. So those are the basics of reading a food label. It can be complex, but just generally kind of start there looking for those things and considering these things when making decisions. Thanks.